All right, we're here with Marshall Callaway, creative writing major class of 2013. Hi, Marshall. Thanks for
Hello.
joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, so what do you do now?
I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of hats. Let's see, for starters, I'm executive administration at Habitat for Humanity in Greater Sacramento. Um, and for a second, I am a partner in a fragrance company that makes perfumes and CBD lotion bars. And for a third, I've got a screenplay out in the world right now that's about to get made.
No way.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that first, then we'll ask you some about Habitat for Humanity and all that, but that's exciting.
So they're all kind of beautiful, and they're all kind of directly related to my writing degrees. And so the screenplay, I can't talk about too much because it's under an NDA, but it's finished and it's in pre-production with the producers and the director. And it's coming soon to a streaming service near you. So I'm very excited about it. It's a historical piece that, well, it's let's see, it's based on actual events, and it is 95% true, and about 5% of it is fictionalized for the point of entertainment.
So how did it
It was a
work
big
to
research.
how did it work to sell it?
What's that?
How did it work? How did it happen to sell it and
So
get
the
it?
producers actually, yeah, the producers approached me about it. They had optioned source material maybe 5 years ago and have been looking for a screenwriter, and they've gone through a couple of screenwriters with it so far. And yeah, they didn't like what they'd come up with so far, so they put it in front of me, and I spent about 3 months on it, sent it back to them. They're like, okay, this is something we can work with. And so here we are, probably 9 months in total into the revisions. And I'm kind of proud of it. It's a pretty good piece.
As well, you should be. I can't wait to see it. So how do we keep track of when it comes out?
Believe me, the second that I'm allowed to say any details about it beyond what I've told you, I will be spreading the word. Yeah, it's been a real labor of love, and I'm excited for people to get to see it. So.
Awesome. Well, tell us about your other
Yeah.
labors of love too. Habitat for Humanity. Tell us about your job there.
Yep. Habitat for Humanity is, well, I mean, being from Georgia, y'all probably know a lot about it. It's a great, great organization, and I'm very much, I support pretty much every aspect of the business in one way or another. But a lot of what I do involves writing material and editing material for publication and for promotion materials. So they're putting my brain to use in that sense a lot. But yeah, we in the Sacramento area, we build about 7 to 10 homes a year, and we help repair 40 to 50 homes a year.
Awesome.
So
So what kind of stuff would you write for them?
speeches, press releases, any sort of promotional materials for our virtual events. And a lot of those are written by other departments, but then I'll cast my eyes over them and correct syntax and grammar and things like that. Some direct to homeowner communication things like that. Anytime they need editor eyes, it comes past my desk.
And how did you get the job?
Well, let's see. I was working in nightclubs until COVID hit, and I loved that very, very much. But everything kind of shifted, and so I just started putting feelers out. I put out about 60 resumes or something like that, but I wasn't one of 40 million people in the job market looking for jobs after COVID came and took them away. And it took a little while, but yeah, I put my resume in front of the right people, and they decided that it was just weird enough of a resume that they could make a space for me. And so far it's been working out great. We're about 3 months into it.
So just weird enough resume. So you made a resume that kind of stood out.
Yeah, well, so my employment history is not linear. I've done a lot of different things, worked in sign shops, worked in TV production, database design, IT director, those sorts of things. And so, yeah, I don't necessarily make sense for any particular job until I definitely do. And they took a look at it and sort of rewrote the job for my resume, which was great.
That's pretty impressive.
So yeah,
And then
it is.
perfume
Fun.
too, on top of all that. You said perfume,
Yeah,
company, right?
yeah.
Fragrance company, fragrance.
Yeah, well, we started as perfumes. I married a perfumer about a year ago, and he's a genius. Just nominated for the Golden Pear Award this year, which is the highest honor in the industry. Ooh, zoom here. And so we have a line of gender neutral fragrances. And about a year and a half ago, we started making CBD lotion bars that have really become the linchpin of our business. And so right now we're in holiday production, just about done with holiday production, but we do good business. And I do mostly graphic design, but I also write all the promotional copy. And yeah, it's kept us afloat more times than I can count. So it's a nice little side business.
That's great. And last question, what advice would you give to current CSU English majors?
Sit in the front row and raise your hand, pay attention. You never know where you're going to get something out of a class that you didn't necessarily think was going to be beneficial. All of those little bits of knowledge come through and are very, very handy, especially in creative writing. When they say read, that means in disciplines that you're not necessarily that interested in. The screenplay that I have just finished is history, and very scientific history at that. And so the ability to take that information from one place and apply it to another is something that you'll really pick up in places that you don't expect. So that's my advice.
Sage advice indeed. Marshall, it's been great talking to you.
What's that?
I said sage
really
advice
great talking
indeed.
to you, Joe.
Great talking to you again. I'm going to pause here.